All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, we're back, and I'm back with my friend Patrice London. London. Ooh, there's a lot going on in London right now, but we won't go there. We'll leave London and London. But Patrice is here, and okay. So let me. This woman, I don't want to give too much of her jewels away, but I kind of bow. I not kind of. I bow down to you because I love
Oh,
reaching out to mothers who homeschool because sometimes I feel a little bit alone because I have taken the homeschool journey. But you have taken this whole homeschool to a whole nother level where you have unschooled how many children?
there's five of them. Yeah.
Five children. Where are they, in the closets behind you? Where are you hiding your five children?
So one of them is I'm hiding away in I think Salt Lake City at the moment, but but the others are downstairs with a loose order of like keeping it down a little bit, but we'll see how that goes.
So I have to share this. When I spoke to you yesterday, um, you said, what did you say? You said, so I don't know how this is going to work because I have to find a quiet place and I have a bird and my kids are home. And I said, listen, this is who you are, and this is the blended garden. We
Yeah,
include
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
and meet everyone
yeah.
where they are at. So I said to Patrice, I said, look, if kids run through the screen, it is what it is. You know, my son, I sent him more.
If
I said,
birds
you were about to
fly,
do. Yeah, right, exactly. I told Kyle, I said, all right, you're going to start with physical education today. Go ride your bike to the park and don't come back till 5 o'clock because I have a Zoom. So, wow, what is that like to first of all, what is unschooling?
so, in a nutshell, it's child led learning. So, I don't suppose to know exactly what they need at any given moment. I mean, there are some obvious things like they need to know how to read, they need to know how to count, do basic math at the very least. But depending on the path that is just in them to take, I am more of a like facilitator,
I
and I
love that
help
word.
guide them along like wherever their interests lie. And that could be, and I'm not tied to their interests in a way that if someone wants to go to say dance, like several of my children have, all of the girls gone to dance. They are all really good, and I would love to see them make a like at least one of them make a career out of it, but that's not their interest. So I'm not tied to that in such a way that I'm going to force them to, keep going
Right,
that on a path that becomes mine, you
right.
know,
Well, you use
and
the
and
word.
not so.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's it.
No, that's a great explanation, and you use the word facilitator. You know, and I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for over 30 years. I've been working with children, and I didn't learn the word facilitator until about maybe 12 years ago, and I didn't really learn
Mhm.
what that meant and what that looked like in a classroom until like 15 or so years into my teaching. And so you
Mhm.
are a mother and you are not a teacher, and here you are using that concept to facilitate. And I've worked with I've facilitating is something you have to learn. You have to kind of be taught how to
Yeah.
do it, especially in the classroom. So I think that's pretty amazing that you've chosen um, to facilitate the learning for your children. And I think that's huge, especially, when we talk about the book, The Blended Garden. I've talked to some parents who homeschool because their children were not included in the structure of learning,
Mm.
and the
Yeah.
learning was not facilitated, and the children's ideas and inspirations were not followed. It was kind of, this is what you do, this is what you learn, and then we grade you,
Right.
and then we put
Right.
you in this place to say, this is, you're an A student, you're a B student, you're a C student, you're a D student, and then that's where you stay, that's where you lay. And I think it's pretty wonderful. And I was talking to, I don't know if you watch any of the videos, but my good friend Angela Valentine, she also works with children, but she lives in the woods with her children.
Oh,
Yeah, and we went out to the woods this weekend and did some fun things. And I said, you have to meet Patrice. I think I would love to get both of you back on,
oh yeah.
and we all do a Zoom and just talk about what that looks like. Just to, so you take your children to the woods. I've seen a lot of your pictures that you're just out there in the
Yeah.
woods, and again, we don't see a lot of us in the woods just hanging out because we want to.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about that. Like, what inspired that? Is that part of your curriculum, or is just something you do?
It's just something, it's honestly, it's something I was never allowed to do growing up. I've always been interested in the great outdoors, but dirt, no. None of that.
Don't get those clothes dirty.
I think I kind of started out going as like a defiance, really, but then found that I absolutely love it. And it's one thing that most of my children, four of the five, love it out there. And
Wow.
so we leave the one at home and we
You
go.
you send them to Phoenix, or you put them in the closet and be like, "We'll be back." No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah, yeah,
Kidding.
yeah, yeah. But it's so, and in fact, one of my daughters, she has a little, I think she calls it an ocarina or something, I forget, but it's some kind of little flutish instrument that she has. She's like, "Mommy, we got to go to the woods. I got to go out there and play my ocarina." And I'm
Ocarina.
like, "Look at you."
I don't even
I,
know
I
what
think
an
that I
ocarina
might be saying
is.
that wrong. I know. I just learned. They teach me, honestly. They are my teachers. I just facilitate their education,
Wow.
but they teach me. So
That is
yeah.
amazing. That is really, really amazing. And we'll come back on another chat where we are just chatting about your life. And I know you posted something the other day, and it was all the things you can do with a dandelion, and you made dandelion cookies.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That it was so nice. The kids just went out in the backyard. I think I would have had just the three girls at that time. They went in the backyard and got how many ever they wanted. Some of them we made cookies. We made cookies with the flowers themselves, with the stem and the leaves. We put some in a salad, and then some we made lasagna. I'm not sure if it was the same day or a different day, but we put the leaves in the lasagna, and it was
Wow.
so funny because my husband was like, "I don't want to eat that," and then, but he ate it. He said no to the cookies, I believe, but the lasagna, he ate the lasagna, and we're like, "Yeah, you just had some, dude." But
That's like when they feed you a horse. They're like, "What's that?" "Oh, that was just a horse."
yeah, yeah,
Oh my god! Oh, that's great. That is amazing. You amaze me, and I know you have so many other things that your hands are in as you are homeschooling,
yeah,
unschooling,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we'll chat more about that. Oh my goodness! All right, so we're going to hear Miss Patrice London read the Blended Garden. So I'll be quiet, and thank you again for joining us and listening to the Blended Garden, read by Miss Patrice London.
All right. I'm so excited.
Yay, me too.
Okay. The Blended Garden. Once upon a time, in a colorful garden, a dandelion sat alone and disheartened. The dandelion saw many flowers from afar, all arranged by their colors. It was quite bizarre. It longed to be part of the colorful array of tall stems in the wind where they bend and sway. The old lady gardener, with her hat tilted low, arranging her flowers with a wish that they would grow. Now, this old lady gardener was quite confusing. She thought sorting flowers was quite amusing, placing this flower here and that flower there to match and examine, measure, and compare. As each flower lived in its own special space, apart from their friends, it was a very sad place. With arms reaching outward, they tried to connect, but sadly, divided, they could not intersect. The flowers were angry and they began to stand tall. They said to the gardener, "This makes no sense at all. We are all so different, our colors unique. Blend us together and you'll see a great treat. Mixing our colors red, yellow, and blue, our petals like flags for all to view. A rainbow of ribbons blowing in the wind. The flowers protested. We want to be friends, not separated and sorted by a particular kind. Growing together is how we're designed." The old lady sat in her flower yard. She said to her flowers, "I've been working so hard. Sorting my flowers is tiresome indeed. And could this dandelion be more than a seed?" So tired she was that she took a long nap. And as she slept, zip, zoom, zap, the dandelion slept, then slowly transformed, taking flight in the night. Above the gardener it soared. All was quiet just beneath the full moon, unaware of the magic that would begin very soon. The old lady gardener awoke from a dream of a blended garden filled with dandelion seeds. As dawn approached, she began stretching and yawning, her arms reaching up to the glory of morning. As she lied in her wheelbarrow, feeling rested and free, envisioning her flowers as a field of we. This blended garden that I saw in my dream was inspiring, extraordinary, and satisfying to see. The old lady gardener with her flowers agreed. There is magic within this dandelion seed. I will no longer sort my dear flower friends. And she blew the dandelion seeds into the wind. Blow this way and that, and land where you may. You are part of my garden, and here you will stay.
Thank you so much, Patrice. That was beautiful.
Mhm.
You're so,
I love this story. I love this story so
oh,
much.
I'm so
Um,
happy. What was it? What spoke to you the most in the book? There's like so many layers to it for adults even.
yes. Yeah. So of course, like you think about diversity, period. And for me, a pet peeve of mine is how people will scream diversity, but they really don't necessarily make any opportunity to be together. And these flowers so desperately wanted to be together, and they knew that there was magic in that unity. And the old lady thankfully was open to it. And I thought it was, I love dreams. That's one of my things. And I feel like you get so much from dreams. And I think it was really sweet that she awoke from a dream where she saw what could be and she moved right in to make it happen. And I thought that was like wonderful. And then just the idea of allowing these dandelions to just take root where they may, that's important because there's so many different herbs that we like to refer to as weeds that are frankly powerful medicine and food. And my goodness, I can tell you so many different ones that are like out there, and not hard to find at all. And they can help so many different things. And so this was such a gift. It was so perfect. And I had no idea when, I don't really pay attention on Facebook that much. And so this whole thing is such a blessing to me. It really is.
Well, I was just so shocked when I saw your post of the dandelions. I was like, "Oh my gosh, Patrice, you get it, the dandelion." I was like, "Let me call
I
her.
had
Come
no
read the book."
idea.
That is just amazing. I think what you said something. Sorry, I hope you don't hear my planes. I live right by the airport, so
No,
you hear the planes.
no.
Um, but you said something so important, like the seeds just spread out, and she allowed them to land wherever they may. Like she allowed it and to take root. You said she allowed the seed to
Yes.
take root, and that kind of reminds me a little bit about what you do as you unschool your children. You're just releasing
Mhm.
them out there, saying, "Take root wherever you lay, wherever you
Yeah.
fall. That's where you take root. That's where you'll grow. I won't pull you
Yeah.
up and say, no, this is where you have to be."
Yeah. 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 And an amazing journey of trust, frankly, because going from the like conventional way of living, there's nobody in my family who does anything that I do. Nothing. In fact, a lot of times I look at
You're
myself,
the
I'm like, I don't know
dandelion
where I
out there in the wilderness.
yeah, yes, yes. And to veer so far from the path that I know,
Mm,
or am most familiar with, it can be scary at times. And it has been scary at times, especially when I have, people that were in that were that should have been in my corner telling me, oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's gonna be horrible, like your children are gonna be stupid, all
mhm.
kinds of stuff.
I know. And
And but
I
I
only
did it
have one
anyway.
that I've homeschooled. You've unschooled five, so I can only imagine the things you've heard, the nights you stayed up
Yeah.
probably thinking, am I doing the right thing? Are they going to
Yes.
end up stupid? I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I can't wait to talk to you more. I could stay on here and talk to you like forever because I want to talk to
Yes.
you about, I won't talk to you about what I want. I'll talk to you off screen. But
Yes. Yes.
your life is so filled with diversity, so many different things, and that I love it. And I hope to one day meet your children. They must be so interesting.
Yeah. They are like, and not just because they're mine. They're very interesting people.
Well, you're
Very.
exposing them to so much. I was listening to a podcast this morning about the mind and how
Mm,
when you do the same thing every day, your mind creates these pathways where it just sits and it knows exactly what's going to
mhm.
happen. But I think with the way that you're approaching teaching and guiding, I only say teaching, but guiding and allowing your children to learn,
Mhm.
there's just so many pathways there. My every day it's a new thing. It's a new,
Yeah.
and I think Angie said that in her nature talk, Nature Calls All, and she mentioned everything new in nature. We went walking in the woods and there was this beautiful ring of ice, like thin, and it was skimming the water, and it was like a marble, and we looked at it and we were like, oh my gosh. And that's kind of how what your life is with your children, that every day is new, every day is, and that's the
Yeah.
blended garden. It should not feel the same, it should not look the same. And
Yeah.
I think, as a teacher, I love working, and I'm an artist as well, but I love working with paint. I love working
Yes.
with children. And a long time ago, when I wasn't a seasoned teacher, I would put the paint, the red and the blue, make purple, and the yellow and then you mix the colors and don't mix them too much, or they paint on the palette, keep the colors separate. And now you should see my art. I'm like, do whatever you want with the colors. And it always turns into like this murky brown because they're just smearing it all and they're doing all kinds of things. And I step back, I'm like, do what you want, honey, do what you want. It looks lovely. It looks lovely. But I think, the children get so much joy to feel free to like
Yes.
blend things without restrictions, without containers, and a set way to do it and a set way to be, and even a set way to look,
Mhm.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll talk more. And thank you so much, Patrice, for reading
Thank
the
you.
book. No, thank you. And you can get the book on Amazon.com. So if you're watching this, please subscribe and share this video with anyone you know who can has children that can benefit from this book. And it's a great book for adults as well. We learned so much, and there's so many more things to talk about with the blended garden. But thanks again, Patrice. Don't go away. I'm going to just stop
Thank
this recording. And thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time with Patrice when we have a much more in-depth chat.